All right, well, Andrew, thank you so much for your willingness to jump on and chat. As you know, we've been interviewing firm owners and how they've been leading through adversity, and you're clearly no stranger to adversity. And in fact, I would argue that you're probably in the epicenter in New York of where much of this has been taking place. So I have to ask, I mean, as someone who's gone through, maybe not an exact situation like this, but certainly periods of adversity, how was your response when, COVID first, had really hit?
Well, you're right. We're right in the epicenter. And I do have experience with this from September 11th, Hurricane Sandy. And we've been hit with lots of different scenarios that have interrupted our business and driven fear in our staff. So it kind of, having gone through it before, helps with this situation, but this is definitely unique. And at the core of what it's all about, from my perspective and my firm's perspective, I think is about confirming the trust that people have already placed in me and the firm as an organization. Because people take a leap of faith when they start working at a particular organization, and that leap of faith is kind of built on the integrity of the organization, the integrity of the individual behind or people behind the organization, their strength and their ability to see through adversity. And they're really counting on the organization to do that. And that trust is a two-way street, right? They trust us, but we need to trust our staff that they too are going to be able to perform during these tough times. Unfortunately, though, not everybody can, and that's okay, right? You gotta allow people to be human. We're all vulnerable at different times, and got to be able to recognize that, and most importantly, support people through that process. I think that's the delivery of the trust that people have in my firm, my organization, related to that.
So let me ask you, I saw that one of the things that you did very early on, then when you were addressing the firm and the state of the firm, was very much a focus on helping them not only have some clarity about how to be productive at home, but also things around like health and wellness. So encouraging meditation and perhaps even encouraging some support. I know you'd offered the support of your kids to help their kids with their homework, things like that. What was out of the not just the idea behind that, but what was the reason why?
Because when we're called upon to help other people, if we're not in the right frame of mind, because that the essence of what we do is help other people when they're in a tough situation. And if we can't be healthy, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally, we can't deliver our best selves to them. And I really focus on communicating that to everybody in my firm, and anything I can do to help them have the right frame of mind so that when they are talking to our clients, they are doing it in their best frame of mind. So what is that? That's the pressure that they're feeling about job security, about home life, about are their kids being taken care of? So anything I can do to help in that situation so that they have the confidence and comfort of knowing it'll be taken care of, I try to communicate that. And just one of the things I did as soon as this hit, all my kids are college and out of college, but they jumped right up and said, hey, how about we help out your staff's kids with homework? And they, I don't know how they did it, but they put together a little portal where the next day, we shut down the office, and the next day I was like, we're here to support you. And if your kids need any help with homework or really any school related work, and they set up where they could just sign up pick their tutor or mentor. And, we're really just a community trying to help each other.
I love that. How did the team respond to that?
Oh, they loved it. They couldn't believe it. And they took advantage of it for sure. It's keeping everybody busy. It's good.
Excellent. So I want to ask you, as someone who's managed through both, I guess September 11th and the financial crisis in 2008, how is this different?
Just the shelter at home, really just shutting everything down. We are fortunate in that because of technology now, and we didn't have this technology in September 11th, my firm has always been kind of at the forefront from a technology standpoint, but um, this complete separation is really the uniqueness about it. And managing through it is really, it's a challenge if you don't trust your staff. If you trust your staff and it's a two-way street, it's not as challenging as I thought it would be.
What has been, let me ask you, like, what's been the biggest challenge during this period?
I've been super busy trying to not here we go. I got the phones ringing, the emails coming. It is, I can't remember being so busy. It's just never, and I'm saying this in a positive way, it's coming at me from all different directions because now people are reaching out. You know, it's this, this separation has driven a desire to, I think, be more connected. And I try to be as available as possible. And I think I'm checking in on people and people are checking in on me. And, you know, it used to be when you say this particular period of time, it was, we went about our daily, I go to work, I'd get my work done and everybody's doing their own work. But the human element of, well, are they really doing okay, really didn't exist before this. And I think that's a super positive as a result of everything that's going on, because at least my experience is people are focused on more than just the work. They're focused on the humanity of what's going on, and that things are bigger than any particular task that we have to do. And there's people behind everything that's going on, and just want to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things I know that you recognized very early on in the fact that people, let's say the routine has changed, their environment has changed, is just the importance of maintaining health and wellness, and particularly mental health. I don't know how much this is really being talked about right now, but, you know, people are being, let's say they're quarantined, they're in their homes, every day is Sunday in a way, you know, and they're not leaving their house for extended periods of time. What do you I guess on one side of that, you know, why do you believe the routine is so important in managing that? And then also on the other side is just, what do you think the longer term implications will be of this?
Well, the management of it is making sure we talk about it, right? One of the first things I did, I send routine emails to, I have a large geographically dispersed group of people that I have to communicate. I can't do, I do groups of videos, but a lot of it is through email. And I routinely send emails that really have nothing to do with work. It's about, hey, remember your mental health. Remember that you got to take care of yourself. And whether it's, I sent links out to watch animals, or to really invest in yourself so that you can decompress. Even though we're in our home environment, it's important to recognize you need to get away from work, and it's not all about work. I always say you got to work smarter, not harder, right? And just because somebody's working really, really hard doesn't mean that they're being really, really effective. I'd rather have somebody super effective and doing it in an efficient way than just working hard for the sake of working hard. And people have to feel okay stopping work, taking a break, decompressing a little bit. And because when they do, they'll come back and they'll work that much smarter. And it doesn't have to be so hard. That may sound strange for somebody who leads a firm, telling people you don't have to work that hard, but I truly believe it. This is about quality of life. It's not about running a sprint. It's a marathon. And what we want to do is make sure we are nourished and can deliver what we need to deliver. And we can only do it if we take care of ourselves, certainly with mental health.
Yeah.
I think it's really important.
Yeah, and most definitely, I would say that, you know, it's based on productivity and output, and not just, you know, how many hours someone is putting in. And I agree 100%. You know, and being able to maintain that. We've used the marathon example too. It's interesting in the sense that we're having this conversation again and again and again, because I find that repetition is important. Like, you know, to the person who's hasn't been in a situation like this before, or has not had to really be intentional about their health and their mental health and so on, you know, they may not know how important it is, but it's one of those things that you're trying to catch before it goes, you know, off the deep end. Like you're trying to basically make sure that, you know, when you're doing things like meditation, and whether it's, you know, it's journaling and exercising and so on. Now, to shift gears, what about on the, you know, let's say the client side? How is, you know, has this impacted anything in the way of just interacting with clients and moving cases forward?
Well, we're in touch with our clients. I've made sure everybody reached out to every one of our clients. They're doing it a little bit more frequently than before, just to check in, really having nothing to do with their underlying case. Just want to make sure you're doing all right. I mean, I have I've been dealing with some clients. They've been in the hospital during this process prior to COVID, and they're now can't take on visitors, and we have to be their lifeline. But others who are now sheltered in place in their home, they have to know that, frankly, we care about them, and that we're doing everything we can to make sure that they too are in a good place mentally. And if we can help them, we try our best. So from a client's perspective, look, clients, the way I view it is, have made an affirmative decision to hire us. And when you distill all the marketing away and everything else, why did they hire us? Because they trust us. I know I keep referencing the word trust, but that to me is the epicenter of what this relationship with our clients is all about. And part of that trust is delivering on our promise to act with integrity and with strength to help them through a really hard process. And the center of that is communication. And if we're not communicating with them, we're not doing our job. So kind of going full circle on your question is, what's the impact with clients? It's really just building a stronger relationship with them by being in touch with them that much more.
Now, I know even going into this, your firm has always been very tech focused and very much focused on automation and systems and technology. But during this period of time, you know, many firms have been improving, you know, and hopefully coming out better on the other end. Have there been any areas that you've identified, like through this experience, that you guys are now improving that will lead to essentially coming out a better law firm?
We were pretty fortunate in that just probably a month before this hit, we transitioned to a cloud-based phone system. And that cloud-based phone system is so now integrated with the rest of our technology, enabling your cell phone to be an extension of your office. And what it's also required is everybody to learn how to initiate. Everybody knows how to get on a video conference, but now it's super easy to initiate and have video conferences, not just with our clients, but we just started this week, or I should say the court system started this week with virtual conferences. And that technology of not just video, but the ubiquitous nature of that phone system has, I would say, taken us even one step down the road in technology. It's remarkable.
And then finally, I guess, just with many of the changes that are taking place now, what do you believe, let's say even 6 months, you know, to a year from now, how have things changed in the legal landscape period?
Well, I think it's going to be a long time before we have jury trials. And I think that I'm on a committee talking about potential of virtual jury trials. And I think the client interaction is going to be different. We've been fortunate enough to still get some new business during this tough time, but we've done it all through video conferencing. We've been doing video conferencing with our clients probably for 15 years already, where it started off that the only way we could do it is clients went to one of our offices to video conference with a lawyer who may have been at a different office. And I've seen that evolution to now clients were reluctant. What do you mean? I can't talk to my lawyer the way we're communicating right now. Now it's nothing at all. And I think that the delivery of the legal services is going to not be as dependent on that in-person relationship, but it's going to be a blend between video live streaming like the meeting we're having, coupled with really informative pre-recorded videos that people can access, where people will be getting a lot more knowledge and understanding of what that process is about before they even sit down to talk to an attorney, because the amount of content that's out there, and it just obviously keeps growing. I just think clients where they used to be nearly 100% dependent on the lawyer to share and inform and educate them, that people are going to even be more informed, better educated about the process, about their expectations, and the lawyer will just be that vehicle to reaffirm what they may have learned already. So I know that was kind of a not a straight line answer for you, but I don't think it's going to be a straight line as to what it's going to be in the future. I think it's going to be a blend of a lot of different things. And for those lawyers who are not kind of thinking about what their delivery of services are going to look like in 5 years, 10 years, I think are going to be caught short. From digital signatures to notarizing those documents to, far more than just automatically populating a document in a legal document. It is, how do you communicate in the way that we are communicating right now in a clear, concise manner, such that you maintain your credibility, because I don't think, I'm going to circle back to the word trust, I don't think that just because we're talking on a screen or they're getting information from a website, that trust will be any less important. In fact, I think it'll be even that much more important, because they have to make judgments based on things that people are not accustomed to making those trust judgments are. Usually those judgments are made primarily based on body language. And how is somebody communicating with me? Are they looking me in the eye? Although it may not be in their conscious thought related to those selections on attorneys. It's in their subconscious, and we have to be able to communicate to people's subconscious in a new way. Whereas before, and I'll even say before COVID, even a little bit before this, we were accustomed to meeting people in person, shaking their hand, and allowing, doing that assessment of one another. Well, it's going to be totally different moving forward. And you got to really give that a lot of thought.
Is handshaking over? You think it's ever coming back?
I think it's going to be a long time. I don't want to say never, but I know I'm not shaking anybody's hand for a long time.
Yeah. Well, excellent.
Why bother?
Right. Okay. Right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. I truly appreciate this. These are incredible insights. This has been great.
No, it's my pleasure. Happy to help.